What is going on, my friends, and welcome back to another video on the channel. Well, in today's video, we are going over Solana as its price has now pushed up to $176, up 9%, leading the wave as many of our altcoins are trying to rebound as fast as they possibly can. Now, we talked about this in the last video, right? We were talking about this key level, the green box between $170 and $145. And we said that if Solana's price is going to rebound, if we are going to see a continuation into an uptrend, it absolutely has to hold support here. It has to recapture the descending wedge. It has to break the descending wedge and start setting new structural higher highs for this to happen. And it all starts with support establishment in the green box. And as you can see, that is exactly what we're seeing right now. Not only did we get a bit of a setting of a bottom here, we also saw the break back into our descending wedge, which leads us to see a double fake out, which resets this usually, meaning that it's back to neutral. So what that means for us is that at this point, things are looking much more bullish than they did back here. You know, when we broke out the bottom side, I told you guys, look, this thing's running out of time. If we don't find this bottom, if we don't find this support very soon, we're going to see the crash back down towards $100. But look what we see. Boom, and we're back. So now, what comes next? What do we need to be looking for? What's the next step for us to say, okay, Solana's back, let's get this thing going? Well, what I'm looking for first and foremost is going to, of course, be three things. Those three things are going to be the clearing of our EMAs, first and foremost. That's obviously going to be a big one. At the time in which we break our EMAs, our 20, our 50, our 20, our 50, and our 100 EMA, we also want to see the breaking of this downward sloping level of resistance that created the top side of our wedge. Now, like I said, since we've seen a double fake out at this point and we've re-entered into the wedge, it tells me that we very likely can see the new breakout back to the upside. It's kind of like a reset when that happens. And so what we need to be paying close attention to is that even though this looks good, there is still the chance that we come back up to this level of resistance like we saw here and here and here and even here, and still see a continued fall to the downside, and we do continue to roll. So if you are looking to buy a little bit, personally speaking, what I would say is allow this thing to continue to play out. We see a really good day, you know, 2 green days in a row is always phenomenal, but we've seen even better than that before lead to even further downtrends. So I would definitely be waiting for further confirmations from the market itself and from Solana's charts. So the biggest thing, again, that I'm looking for right now before I start getting buy crazy is, can we work our way back up towards about $200 and start to hold outside this wedge? If we're able to do that, then sure, there's more of a chance that we come back up to set some new higher high, maybe up towards 230, 240, 250, around that area. But until we break our way out of here, we still have too many levels of resistance pushing the price back to the downside. Now, don't forget, the majority of the market is operating off of Bitcoin's charts. And at the moment, we have this descending wedge in which we're in on the Bitcoin charts. So remember, if this breaks to the downside, it's going to pull the market with it. And if this breaks to the upside, it's going to pull the market with it. So what we need to be doing is watching for these confirmations and not just YOLO buying in right now just because things are getting a little bit excited, because there are still a lot of confirmations and there's still a lot of levels that we need to clear before we can go ahead and fully say that this thing is back on track and we are getting where we need to. So again, overall, things are looking pretty dang on good just in terms of indicators. We're not seeing any major divergences happening yet. One thing I can see is that based off of this previous high going to this high, we're almost at an equal level here, whereas on our charts, we are still seeing this lower high, and that's minor bearish divergence. That kind of just tells us that this thing may be running a little bit too fast, and that could be followed by a minor pullback, but I don't think it's anything too important or significant just yet. And then looking at our MACD as well, you can see that we are looking to see some type of convergence here, in which hopefully we do see this blue EMA closing straight through our orange EMA. And as it does work this upward direction through the orange EMA, that's always a fantastic sign that we are back in bullish territory. So overall, things are looking pretty good. Things are looking pretty decent, but we are definitely not there just yet in terms of being completely out of the woods. But of course, this was a phenomenal first step for us to get there, and we definitely need to keep an eye on these next couple steps that will come, which starts, of course, with clearing our EMAs and then clearing our downward sloping level of resistance. So with that being said, of course, this was a fast, short, simple, and sweet update. I hope you guys did enjoy it. I just wanted to make sure no one was freaking out, FOMOing in just yet, or doing anything that could be a little bit detrimental. I always like to keep you guys grounded, and if you do appreciate that, of course, you can let me know by smashing that like button and subscribing to the channel if you are new, and I'll see you all next time. Peace.